There really is a unique magic to video games, isn't there? They're not just something that we play, they're something that we experience, and they leave an imprint on our hearts, they shape our memories, and they connect us to a time and a place in ways that few other mediums can. For me, along with the original Donkey Kong Country and several other games, that magic is partially encapsulated perfectly in New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. Released in 2006, it marked a true return to Mario's side-scrolling roots, a reimagining of what 2D platforming could be for a new generation of gamers such as myself. It was more than just a game, it was sort of a cultural reset, a technological triumph, and most importantly, a very personal journey. Over the course of this essay, I want to unpack every layer of this masterpiece. The gameplay, the visuals, the music, the power-ups, the impact that it had on culture, and its lasting legacy. But before all of that, I want to start with where it all began for me, the day I first played it. Let me take you back to 2006. I was just a kid. The Nintendo DS was the coolest thing in the world back then. All of my classmates had one, with its clamshell design, the dual screens, the stylus. It felt futuristic, almost otherworldly. I already had a small but cherished library of games, but New Super Mario Bros. Was one that I'd been waiting for. I remember asking my parents every single day, can I please get this game? Can I please get this game? And when we barely had a pot to piss in, they finally caved and they got the game for me. We were walking down the aisle, and the moment that I saw it on the shelf, I knew that I was holding something special. The art with giant Mario on the cover, it just looked so awesome. Like this was going to be my first big 2D Mario game. With the iconic bright blue sky behind him, it radiated fun. On the ride home, I could not stop staring at the back of the box, imagining the adventures I was about to go on, and reading the words on the back over and over and over again. When I finally slid the cartridge into my DS for the first time, that's when it all changed. It was the beginning of an experience that would shape not only how I thought about games, but also how I connected with the people around me. At the time, the concept of a, quote, new 2D Mario game was radical. The Mario franchise had spent the better part of a decade focusing on 3D adventures like Mario 64 and Sunshine. These games were groundbreaking, obviously, but the simplicity and elegance of Mario's side-scrolling origins had been left behind, and in my opinion, I prefer 2D Mario. But Nintendo knew that it was time for something different, or rather, something familiar, but different. New Super Mario Bros. Was not just a throwback, it was a complete reinvention of the 2D formula, by blending the classic mechanics of the original Mario Bros. With the polish and creativity of modern gaming. Nintendo created something that felt both nostalgic and very new. The game opens with a classic premise. Princess Peach is kidnapped by Bowser Jr., and it's up to Mario to save her. There are no complicated twists, no sprawling narratives, just the timeless simplicity of a hero's journey through 8 distinct worlds. But what made it special wasn't just the premise, it was how the game felt to play. One of the very first things you notice about New Super Mario Bros. Is just how good it feels on the DS. Mario's movements are smooth and responsive, striking the perfect balance between precision and momentum. Whether you're making a series of small jumps or sprinting towards a long-distance leap, every action feels deliberate and satisfying. Nintendo's mastery of game physics is on full display here. Take something as simple as jumping. There's a weight and a rhythm to it that makes even the smallest interactions, bouncing off of a Goomba, hitting a block, feel impactful. It's no exaggeration to say that the controls in New Super Mario Bros. Are among the most refined in the entire 2D platforming genre. But it's not just the controls, it's the pacing. The levels are designed to guide you naturally, teaching you mechanics without ever breaking the flow. For example, in World 1-1, you encounter a Goomba, a pipe, and a question mark block within seconds of starting, without, much like the original Super Mario Bros., a single tutorial box. You learn how to jump, stomp, and interact with the environment. It's that elegant simplicity that sets this franchise apart from others. Let's take a moment to appreciate the power-ups, because they don't just feel like tools, they are quite literally transformative experiences. The mushroom, obviously, a classic. but it never gets old, especially this time around. Watching Mario grow in size and strength is as satisfying in 2006 as it was in 1985. But the star of the show here was the Mega Mushroom. The first time you grab it, it's pure, unbridled chaos in the best possible way. Mario grows to an enormous size, stomping through pipes, enemies, and blocks with reckless abandon. It's a true spectacle, and obviously, and easily one of the most creative additions, the blue shell. This power-up turns Mario into a projectile, letting you plow through enemies and access hidden areas. It's a high-risk, high-reward tool that adds a lot of depth to the gameplay here. And there's a lot more to talk about, obviously mainstays like the Fire Flower and the Mini Mushroom. Each power-up is thoroughly and thoughtfully integrated into the level design, encouraging you to experiment and discover new strategies to beat the game. The 8 worlds of New Super Mario Bros. Are a masterclass in not only environmental storytelling, but identity. Each one is distinct, both visually and mechanically. World 1 is a welcoming addition, with grassy plains, gentle slopes. It's simple, but it's also iconic. It's a reminder of Mario's roots and where we came from and how far we have come. World 2 takes it to the desert, World 3 is all about water, World 4 is the jungle, World 5 is snow, etc., etc. Your typical 2D platformer style, but it works in the best way possible here. I remember witnessing all these worlds for the very first time, and it just blew me away that I was playing something that looked, at the time, this good on a screen so small. One of my favorite aspects of New Super Mario Bros. Is how it encourages exploration and replayability. Every level is packed with secrets, from hidden star coins to alternate exits that unlock new paths on the world map. Let's talk about those star coins real quick. Each level has 3 of them, tucked away in places that range from obvious with a little effort to how on earth did they expect me to find that? Collecting these coins, to me, became sort of an obsession. Sometimes you'll spot one tantalizingly out of reach, requiring you to backtrack with the right power-up. But other times, they're hidden in areas you wouldn't even think to check, behind walls, at the top of the screen, or in secret pipes. But the thrill of finally grabbing that last star coin after multiple attempts is unmatched. And then there are the alternate exits. They completely change how you approach this game. Finding a hidden red flagpole often leads to entirely new levels or shortcuts on the map, making the world feel alive and interconnected, and these secrets, when you find them, it just feels awesome. For example, in World 4, finding a secret exit might unlock a cannon that launches you straight to World 6, bypassing entire sections of the game, much like in the original Super Mario Bros., how you could get to a warp zone and skip entire worlds. It's a mechanic that rewards curiosity and experimentation, adding layers of depth to an already very rich experience. The boss fights in New Super Mario Bros. Are not just a test of skill either. They are essentially a celebration of creativity in this franchise. Each world culminates in a showdown that feels fresh, even if it borrows elements from previous Mario games. Take the mid-castle bosses, for example. These encounters feature familiar foes like Bowser Jr., but each fight introduces new patterns and challenges, and by the time you face Bowser Jr. for the final time, his attacks have evolved, keeping you on your toes. The world-ending bosses are even more memorable. Whether you're dodging the massive stomps of a Mega Goomba, or timing your jumps perfectly to defeat a Lakitu in the Custom Arena, each fight feels unique. And then there's Bowser himself. The final battle is a masterpiece when it comes to tension and design. It starts as a nostalgic throwback with Bowser standing on a bridge over lava, but it quickly escalates into something far more intense. And after you defeat him, Bowser Jr. revives him as a massive fire-breathing monstrosity, forcing you to navigate a gauntlet of obstacles while he chases you down. It is the perfect culmination of everything that you've learned throughout the game. And if you've never played the multiplayer mode in this game, you have missed out on one of the most fun, chaotic experiences that I've ever had. I remember playing this game on the bus with DS Download Play. I owned the game, and none of my buddies did, so they would be able to play it even if they didn't own the cartridge. The mode is quite simple. 2 players, 1 goal. Collect as many stars as possible. But that simplicity often breeds the most chaos. You'll find yourself sabotaging your opponent, stealing his power-ups, and using the environment to gain the upper hand. And what makes this mode so special is how accessible it is. Like I said, thanks to DS's local wireless functionality, you didn't need 2 copies of the game. just one cartridge could connect up to 4 players, and it made it perfect for our school lunch breaks and especially our field trips. And while the competitive mode is a blast, the cooperative aspects of the main game add another layer of fun. Passing the DS back and forth, strategizing on how to collect that one hard-to-reach star coin, or simply laughing at each other's mistakes. It was truly a bonding experience like no other. For a game that was released on the Nintendo DS, New Super Mario Bros. Is a visual marvel. It combines 2D sprites with 3D rendered backgrounds, creating a style that feels both modern and timeless. The environments are vibrant and varied, with each world offering its own unique aesthetic. There's the lush greenery of World 1, the lava flows of World 8. Every level feels like a carefully crafted piece of art in a sense. Even the animations, like Mario's cheerful jump or the way that enemies react when you stomp them, they're brimming with personality. And it's this personality that I feel was sorely missing from New Super Mario Bros. U. But we can't talk about the visuals without mentioning the music. Koji Kondo, Nintendo icon, and his team delivered a soundtrack that's equal parts catchy and atmospheric. Who can forget the iconic Overworld theme, with its playful melody and rhythmic buzz from the enemies, or the intense castle music, which adds a sense of urgency to every platforming challenge. Each track is perfectly tailored to its environment, enhancing the mood and immersing you in the world. To fully appreciate New Super Mario Bros., though, it's worth exploring how it came to be. By the early 2000s, 2D platformers were seen as a relic of the past. The gaming industry was moving towards 3D experiences, and even Mario had made the leap with Super Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. But Nintendo knew that there was still so much to do and something truly special about 2D Mario. Something that could not be replicated in 3D. The goal of New Super Mario Bros. Was to bring that magic to a new generation while updating it for modern audiences. The development team, led by the icon Shigeru Miyamoto and Toshiaki Tezuka, faced a unique challenge. How do you honor the legacy of the original Super Mario Bros. While introducing enough new ideas to make it feel fresh? Their solution? Embrace innovation while staying true to the core principles of the series. They introduced new power-ups, new mechanics, new enemies, but the heart of the game, the tight platforming, the intuitive level design, and joyful atmosphere remained unchanged. When New Super Mario Bros. Launched for the DS, it was an instant hit. Critics praised its accessibility, creativity, and nostalgic charm, while players fell in love with its vibrant world and addictive gameplay. But its impact went far beyond sales and reviews. The game proved that 2D platformers still had a place in modern gaming, paving the way for future titles like Super Mario Maker and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. It also became a shared experience for millions of players. Whether you were a lifelong Mario fan or a newcomer to the series, New Super Mario Bros. Offered something for everybody. Even today, almost 20 years later, New Super Mario Bros. Remains a masterpiece. Its timeless design, its infectious charm, its endless replayability, they make it a joy to revisit, and I've had so much fun replaying this game for this review. For me, it isn't just a game. It's a reminder of what gaming is all about and what video gaming can and should be. It's about discovery, it's about creativity, it's about fun, and it's about the simple joy that you get by pressing A to jump. So, to New Super Mario Bros., thank you. Thank you for the memories, thank you for the laughter, and thank you for the magic.